Look at you all bright and
That's all
shiny.
right. That's what she said. You all bright. I'm like, what? I need to turn the light on.
You
What's
know what?
going on
No,
here? I'm
no, no,
just
no, no. It's perfect, perfect lighting. I mean, but of course, you know, you know, it's the
what?
glow that
Now
you got.
it's that's just no. That's what they call natural lighting.
Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Give me a little profile. Don't you got a mohawk? You better hawk it out. Look at this right here.
You silly. You are too silly.
You know, you almost broke the internet with your hair.
Hey, might be reason why we playing it a different kind of a way a little bit too, right?
That's what I'm talking about. That's how you do it. Give me 2 seconds.
Uh,
You got like this right
okay.
here. All that right there is dark. Not with that light. That's my light. You'll never take my lights. That one right there.
Mm-mm.
Yeah,
You
I
look at wait,
said
time out. You looking good, Jasmine Sanders. You are looking good. Yes,
thank
you are.
you. I
Yes, you
appreciate
are,
that.
lady.
I
Yes,
appreciate that.
indeed.
It ain't easy being cheesy. I'm
I
out
don't
here
know what that means,
in
but
these
okay.
streets. I'm
In the
out in these
street.
streets, single, never been married.
Mm-hmm.
That's a whole nother conversation, Kavon. Ready or not?
Whoo. Yeah, ready or
Ready
not, it
or
is another
not?
conversation.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. You
You
ain't
know
trying,
what?
but you ain't trying to do nothing about that, are you?
That's not true. I would
I'm
love.
no, it's not a statement. It was a question.
I
Are you
am trying
trying
to
to?
do something about it in a
Okay,
very passive way.
okay, yeah, I get it.
Maybe
Yeah.
up the lights a little bit. See how dark it is behind me? We got to get these lights right. I got to look as good as you.
Oh,
But it's
baby,
my fault.
you look fantastic.
It's my fault because just coming in from vacation, I had a late night and then I don't know what you just did, but you darkened the whole room up. Let
No, I
me
see. Oh,
scoop.
not
You can see
it's
it now when
brighter.
I scoop
Yeah,
forward. You can see
but
how
but
dark it is behind me.
I I think you want everybody to see them shoes.
No, no,
We
I
what
don't care
we.
nothing about that. You know what I say about a lot of shoes? This tells you the life that I've lived, right? Like all of these shoes signify something. Some of them are harder to walk in than others, and there's a reason for that.
Right,
No, don't go that way.
right.
Please go the other way. And then let's just turn this and maybe reposition it. Then I think we'll be good to go. I don't want to take up all his
I'm gonna
time.
go get my light. I'm gonna go get my light.
Your
Shit, I'm
light
gonna go get
is
my light.
perfect. This is too yellow.
I got shadows on this side over
You
it.
looking good. You looking good. If is that your backyard?
Yeah, yeah. So got
That
me
is
moving around. Yeah, that's my.
beautiful. Do you have a pool there?
You know what Tennessee is. Don't act like you don't know what this is
Let me
up in
tell you
here. Come
something.
on
While
now.
you playing around, I'm gonna have to come back and get me a home in Tennessee because it's not enough for me. I got to get me out here
Well,
in LA. I need a home. I need a home. Just that's
they be putting down some crazy laws here in Tennessee though, baby. So it's that's the only
yeah.
downside. But
I
it's
kind of saw. This gonna drive me
yeah.
crazy. Hold on one second. I could do it close too. Yeah, but it's I don't know.
Hear you all the way.
There we
Let me
go.
see. I see tennis shoes that put like 3 inches on your height. Look at you.
Now let me get this together right here, and I think we might be good to go. I'm still dark. I don't know what happened, Kavan. We was perfect before you called. I think you did this.
Oh
I think
no,
you
I
did.
think you look, baby. You look
There we
gorgeous and you
go.
look
It's
well
getting
lit.
there. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Now let me make sure my hair look as good as yours.
Oh, mm.
Kavan, how did you break the internet? What happened?
It was an accident,
I mean,
purely.
I saw the whole thing go down. I said, "Ooh, them vocals buttery smooth," but everybody was like, "This hair."
Yeah, they could care less about the vocals, right? I'm
I
like,
was like,
you know.
"Yo,
So I got a call from my brother.
yeah,
Kenny said it. Hey man, my girl said, Lizzo just made a comment about what's after seven. And she knew what it meant. It had nothing to do with the group, but it was
correct."
an opportunity to piggyback off of the statement. And so I said to Kenny, well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what you do. You need to do something. I said, okay, well, let me figure this out, right? in the meantime, Carmela Rose is at gymnastics. I got to go pick her
That's
up,
my
right?
girl. Yep.
I say to my wife Ruth, I say, "Hey, can you go get Carmela Rose? I need to try to do this thing." She says, "Nope, I'm on a Zoom call right now. You're gonna have to go get her." So I'm in this panic mode, like I need to respond to this. Kenny was saying, you gotta be timely with it. Got to be
Yeah.
timely with it.
He's
So
right.
ran ran downstairs. Cause it's all new to me, right? So get down there. I sang it and send it to my social media guy, and he posted. And who knew? Who knew?
I
Like
knew.
that evening. I mean, well, did you know about the hair? Did you know about the poodle? You didn't know about
No,
that,
no,
or
no, no. I knew about. Let me tell you something. I've known you for a long time. Okay. The poodle is fine. Don't let nobody tell you it's not. First of all, you got a head full of thick ass hair. I'm going to put it out there. And it looks good. But I also
yeah,
knew about the buttery vocals. And I was like,
yeah.
ooh. And you know, I had to comment because everybody was talking about it. Everybody was talking about it. So we talked about it on the show. We
Oh
laughed
wow.
about it. I was like, and you know, DL was a little jealous. He was like, you know, my hair is thick too. I said, slow down, cowboy. Slow down.
Yeah, but it took on a life of its own. I had no clue, no
You
clue.
know, it's interesting. I this whole series, Woman to Man, I know it's a such a very simple title, but I did that on purpose because I did one for women called Woman to Woman, which I'm going to continue. And initially it started out me wanting to celebrate the women that I know for Women's History Month. And it was really about, you know, yeah, we talk about the historical significance of contributions made by women and you know, all of that, which is super important. But I was like, you know, we never really acknowledge the women that we know that we pass by in the streets every day, the people that we pass cross with throughout our, you know, jobs. And I said, you know, I want to talk to people that I've known for a long time, people that
Mm-hmm.
I've just have crossed paths with, but maybe don't know that well, and people that I don't know at all that I wish I knew. And it was going to be a very simple conversation. I piggybacked on, and I know you are a man of a certain age as I am a woman of a certain age. You remember, hello, Barbara, this is Shirley. We're going to have a
That's
conversation,
right.
woman to woman.
That's right. That's
I
right.
got it from that. And then, you know, I had been talking about it a lot on the show, and DL was like, you know, people never think about men, you know, especially during, you know, Father's Day, which is this month. And I said, you know,
Mm-hmm.
it's true. We really don't do that. And I said, you know what I'm going to do for Father's Day? And just for men in general, whether you're a father or not, I'm going to do a woman to man series. And it's going to be just a very simple kind of conversation. Like I'm catching up with old friends, getting to know new friends. And one of the people I thought about right away, this was even before Hairgate,
Okay.
Poodlegate.
Oh.
It was before that.
Okay.
It was before that. And the reason why I said, you know, I want to talk to my good friend Kaban for a couple of reasons. One, I met you and I showed you this picture years ago. We're not going to say how many years because I'm still fabulous. Okay. We're not going to say
You're
how
still
many years.
fabulous. I
I'm gonna
remember
say,
what you were wearing though in that picture
ah, what
though.
was I wearing? What was I wearing? You don't remember.
Oh yeah, that blue jean denim babies.
I
What?
was.
Yes.
And that's actually right.
Yes.
But the
This
thing
is
I
right.
remembered about you then, and I was excited when we reconnected years later, is
Mm-hmm.
that you're the same genuine, amazingly gifted. You could be as arrogant as you wanted to be, and you are not. You're so down to earth. Where does that come from? Because not everybody has it.
Well, that that comes from the woman in our lives, the
Mhm.
woman who shaped us, our mother, my mother, Barbara Jean Edmonds. So, what you'll find, I think, is probably true. As talented as my brother Face is,
Yeah.
songwriter, producer, entertainer, vocalist, all that type. But he's still very down to earth. He's a very humble guy. Now, he may not be as easily approachable because he was really kind of a shy kind of guy, but you're not going to find arrogance. You're not
Yeah.
going to find that. That's not how we were raised. Um, And I was just thinking about this earlier. It's like, wow, um, we were raised in a family of six boys. So this hair gate, as you call it, a lot of people. I really thought it was. I
Okay.
was cracking up. I mean, I was calling Kenny. I was talking with my wife Ruth. We were just cracking up at some of the comments, because I can laugh at myself.
Yeah.
And I would have to know how to laugh. I grew up in a family of six boys. If
Six
you didn't have
boys.
tough skin, but you'd be in real trouble. So all those kind of things, that being in a family of six boys, and being able to know how to be cracked on, because you might have a couple cracks that you might put on somebody else. You got to learn how to take it. So
Yeah.
it was a surprise when it came, but all of those things helped shape us. My mother had a great sense of humor. And I think all of us, you may not see it on the outside, but if you get to know us, you'll find that we crazy or we
Yeah,
silly
you
or
crazy.
so
I
on. So
know.
this is true, and I love to laugh, and I'm not a comedian, but I have a good time. I have a good time, and it's just being true to who you are. I'm a down to earth kind of guy. I'm simple things, and as you say, the guy I was then is the guy I am today.
You
Still,
are. You are and every time we've sat down and had a conversation, I know we were gonna go into like do a little business venture at one point,
right?
which
Well, you had me
so it's
thinking.
so funny. We were you guys, because you guys brought me in. You guys were ahead of the
Mhm.
curve. Y'all were ahead of the
Yeah,
curve because you saw it happen. It played out later
right.
on, right? So you guys were
Yes, it
ahead of
did.
it. But you were the
Hmm.
same. You've always been so kind. And I thought, now I've always thought I could out sing you. I know I really can't. We've had that sing off a time or two, and I always
That part,
lose.
that
But it's
that
because,
that part. Go ahead.
well, the reason being, I don't ever want to embarrass you because I know you're such a nice guy and you really don't deserve that, right? That's
I
really what it
appreciate. I
is.
appreciate. I appreciate you.
Well, how do you grow up in a family? Because it's more than just you who can sing. Your brother, I know you have a lot
Hmm.
of singing relatives. How do you grow up in a family where everybody can sing? And I know somebody had to be trying to outshine the other, because that would have been me.
Uh,
And
you
who was that
know,
one? Who was the one that was always trying to outdo? Was it you,
it
Kevon?
was no, no. It really, for me, that was something that I was able to do, but I didn't really pay that much attention to it when I was younger. I was more trying to hang with my boys and go see what
Get
we
the
could go do.
ladies. You trying to get the ladies.
Yeah, we was trying to get into things. That's what we were trying to do.
I
Now,
mean,
Melvin was he's my oldest brother, my late brother Melvin. He was the oldest one in my family who flat out could sing, who brought while music played in our house all the time, Melvin was the one who really brought performance into our household. We
hmm,
didn't, we just heard music, but at 15 or 16, Melvin was showing us what it looked like, because he had a band. He was a front man to his own band when he was 15 or 16 years old.
I never knew that.
So yeah, so it was like, wow, you can actually do this, and that was the first example that Kenny and I had gotten. Now Kenny, on the other hand, very shy, uh, played the guitar. Melvin had a right-handed guitar. Kenny is left-handed. He had to turn the guitar upside down and play it as a left-handed. He learned it backwards, is what he did. But
Uh,
because, hey, in a house full of six boys, we ain't getting no two and three different
you
guitars. You
gonna
got
play
a
what we
guitar that's
got.
in the house.
You gonna play what we got. And
And that's what
there
it
was a
was.
big
But
thing about that with him during the Super Bowl, I think it was. People were like, he's got his guitar upside down. He was like, no,
upside
I
down,
don't.
yeah.
He was like, I'm
Hmm.
playing
That's how.
I'm doing what I'm doing.
Yeah, I know what I know. I'm playing it the way I learned it. So, so there wasn't really a competition. It really, really wasn't. Melvin was so much older than us, or so it felt when we were younger. And there was no contest. It really wasn't. So Kenny had, I
Who's the
think
better
the
singer?
music was,
Who's the better singer? I know somebody's the better singer. Who's the better singer?
well, I would say this. It's so interesting. Uh, I loved what Kenny could do as a stylist. Kenny loved uh, uh, Melvin's voice,
Mm.
and Melvin loved my voice. So we all kind of had. it just we appreciated what the other had in their gift, you know. But I would say, hands down, as a soulful singer, no question, Melvin was that guy.
Yeah.
Um, when it comes to tone, a tone that is friendly to the ear, I'm that guy. When it comes to being a stylist and how you approach vocals, and see, I break it down different ways. Some, oh,
Yeah,
you
you
sing
breaking
better
it
than your
way
brother.
down. You're
Yeah,
teaching too at
right.
the same time because a lot of people don't
Yeah, yeah,
understand there
yeah,
is a difference
yeah.
between all of those things that you're talking
Right,
about.
right, right. And Kenny is a stylist. You know, back in the day, he was yodeling. He had his little yodel thing going on. He learned how to manipulate his tool better than the rest of us, I think.
Where do you
Melvin
think that
was.
music is going now, though? Because I feel like I think one of the reasons why you also trended, yes, the Poodle Gate got it started, but I also
Mm-hmm,
think what happened was people really appreciated the fact that a reminder, and this is
mm-hmm.
no shade on anybody new. There are a ton of people out there who are just amazing vocalists. But
Sure.
I think we have forgotten, in the same way as I do about the art of communication, I think we've also forgotten a little bit, not everybody, the art of just a flat footed house coat wearing. Now, you didn't have a house coat on, but you understand where I'm going with it.
Yes.
Singer with no
Yeah.
prep, no nothing, just on the spot, just smooth, didn't miss a beat. And I think that's one of the reasons why I blew the internet away.
Yeah. It's hard to say. There are different types of they're different, and as to your point, there are a tremendous amount of brand new artists that are here who are vocally skilled
Yeah.
and can blow the roof off. But there's also a stylistic approach, I think, that is different today than it was from like the time where I came from. Like, um, they they go about it differently. Lyrically, the message in their music, they got different messages going on here
There's a whole lot of
today.
different messages. It's a lot.
Yeah,
And you know what? It's
yeah.
scary too because when you think about when you guys sang, ready or not, when you
Hmm.
sang just some of the greats that I absolutely there was uh, a romantic notion of not only maybe how you felt about a woman, because you were still talking about, ready or not.
Hmm.
I'm gonna give
Right,
it
right,
all to
right,
you. And I mean all of it. But there
right.
was a romantic notion to it that not only spoke to the person, but to the heart. And for
Yeah.
me, as a lady of a certain age, I'm all right with what you gonna give me. But
Hmm.
I also appreciate the way you package it and the way that you
Right,
approach it. And I think
right.
unfortunately, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, I think unfortunately it is really becoming quite damaging to relationships because of when I heard Teddy Pendergrass sing "Turn Off the Lights," it didn't just start with
Hmm.
"Turn them off." It was something that
Right,
led up to that made
right,
me feel something. And I think it's one of the
right.
reasons now why when we hear a Marvin Gaye, a Stevie Wonder, a Babyface at After Seven, whoever, there
Hmm.
it I don't know, drums up something in your heart more so than
Yeah,
just your body and your loins, if you know what I mean.
right.
What do
No,
you think
absolutely.
about that?
Um, Unfortunately for a younger generation that's listening to music here today, I feel like they're being robbed. They're
Mm,
being robbed of those true elements that speak to romance and how you get to the heart of the matter when you talk about how people feel for one another. And um, Today, it's there's a deficit,
yeah.
plain and simple. They they don't explore the matters of the heart, like you say. You know that they skip by that, and it's like I'm gonna get with you. You want to get with me, and and we'll knock this off, and
And be
whatever
gone.
comes
And we're
next.
out. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Until till I see you again, and we've always it's always been important for me to find the right kind of song that has enough sex appeal um, and romance,
Yeah.
enough romance. It's like there's a certain amount of courtship in my song, as you say. I
Right.
want to set you up. I want to kind of bring you in a little bit. I want you to know I'm looking at you from the other side of the room first before I approach you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And just take it step by step instead of just jump in, because you'd be surprised they jump in right now today.
Yeah.
And
And you know what?
that's not just male. That's not just male.
That's
That's
male and
female.
female. You're right. Well, let me ask you this though. Speaking of that, you're a father.
Hmm.
Do you
Yeah,
ever, and Carmela Rose is my heart because we share birthdays. So, she's
that's right.
special out the box. But how, my son is older. So I
Hmm.
don't have really the same concerns or worries. But when you're a father, you have a young daughter that's growing up and you've got social media, you've got the pressures of what's popular, you got this
Hmm.
TikTok channel. How do you and what do you how do you talk to her? I'm terrified because I want to adopt kids now. I'm
Hmm.
terrified to adopt a girl, not to say I won't, but I'm wondering, how do I teach her to navigate this space? And Carmela Rose is right in that groove of, now she's
Right.
probably trying to find her own independence and figure out who she is.
Hmm.
What are some
Right.
of your fears, and how, and not to get super personal because obviously you don't have to tell me everything, but just, and especially
Yeah.
being who you are, you've seen a lot, you've been on the road,
Right.
like, how do you
Right. Right.
prepare her for that?
Well, first off, first and foremost, God, a love for God. Know that you are God's child. That's what she knows. She knows she's God's child. He has a purpose for her life, on her life.
Yeah.
That's number one for her. I know that, yeah, she's growing. I've got a 36-year-old daughter as well, so
Mm.
I know that we've got to go down this pathway. But we set the example that we want her to follow. She has a loving mother and a loving
She does.
father. She's under the same roof that I am
Mhm.
every day, most days. So she sees what a loving relationship is. She sees her mother and father kiss. She sees us hug, talk. We don't hear no arguments because we ain't. Me and Ruth are so perfectly matched.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what y'all got
you,
to argue about? You
yeah,
got an
it's such.
amazingly gifted and
Yeah,
talented doctor, and then you got
yeah,
this
yeah.
smooth poodle head singer. Y'all rocking it out.
You killing me.
I had to throw that in there, and I
Yeah,
mean that with
yeah,
love.
but it's a balance. But it's never, you don't need no man. Never that kind of conversation goes on. I hope and pray that there is that special guy out there for her, and it's limited. It's slim pickings.
It
It
is.
is slim pickings because I concern myself not only for my daughter, but I concern myself for the young men who are out here who aren't getting the kind of direction that they
Yeah.
need, which will allow them to become the better men that they could be
Yeah.
and know how to treat a young woman, not be intimidated by my daughter, because my daughter's going to be, I already know she's going to be extra. She's gonna be on top of her stuff. She's gonna be sharp,
Now I
and
can
it's gonna
ask
have
you
to
this,
be the
and
right guy.
yeah. Now, but that brings me to something that I saw on the internets that I got into, like a really, not a bad beef because I don't do bad beefs. I'm too grown for that. But I
Hmm.
had a lot of people come for my neck because of what I said. Now, there was someone who talked about, and it was a woman who was talking about how strong, independent Black women are ruining the Black family. And I was like, and we had this conversation on the show, and I said to DL, and he and I disagreed, and I was okay with that, because we often do. But
Hmm.
I said, okay, here's the thing. It's interesting to me. I find that men only like strong, independent women when they are their daughters, because that's what they want to raise their daughters to be. I said, if you want to blame somebody, you'd have to blame my dad, because my daddy was like, don't you ever take care of a man. Make sure you take care of yourself, educate yourself so that you can stand on your own 2 feet. And
Hmm.
not saying that you don't need one, right? Because we
Hmm.
We like a loving relationship. You want certain things in your relationship. I'm not out here saying, I don't need a man. I don't want, I've never said that. And I feel like a
Hmm.
lot of people are taking the words of strong women because out of necessity we had to be, right? Because if you're not married, such as myself, and I'm waiting around looking for someone to come in and save me, I'd be screwed. So my
Yeah.
thing is, I make sure that I know who I am. I have faith in God. I have faith in the universe that as long as whatever I'm putting out is going to come back to me. I don't walk around with this air of I think I'm better than and I don't need him. Like I am very much in the same way as you are probably raising, your daughter. But I
Hmm.
think that for whatever reason, men out there are offended by it. What is that about?
Wow, what this subject matter is not one we can really cover in this conversation. It is,
We need some
I would tell you,
time to
it's
unpack
yeah,
it.
yeah, we do. There's a lot of to me, from my opinion, uh, from what I see, is a lot of historical implication, a lot of historical implication as to how we have gotten here, and things are constantly changing in terms of the roles of men and women and how
Hmm.
we are functioning now in this culture, day and time. There was a time when I used to say that, and it's changed, but uh, uh, a woman needs to be loved. A woman needs to be loved, but she wants to be needed. A man needs to be needed and wants to be loved. We need to be needed. That's so important for a man, is to know that you're needed. And that when needed is also a certain amount of respect that comes along with it. Love is a perk. That's a perk. I need, and maybe if you need me, I know on some level you love me. And
Yeah.
for a woman, I need you to love me. You gotta
Mm.
love me.
That's
and,
so
and
true.
I
I
want
love
I
that.
want to be there. There's a balance, but it's shifting at the same time now today too. So it's a tricky.
Well,
It's a
I think
moving target. It's a moving
there,
target right now.
there's it's impossible for it not to shift because if you think about it, I just learned maybe a month ago that it wasn't until 1998, I think it was, or 94, that a woman could get a loan or anything for her own business without the co-signature of a man. Prior to that, I'm talking about not, I was still in college. That means had I come out of
Yeah,
college and decided I wanted to start a business, I could not have done it without a man, right? Well, when you look at the traditional roles of a woman and how they've changed, right? Because back in the day, women didn't work. It was frowned upon if they did. And but then you had the change of economics, right? The economy
hmm
and the shift in the dynamics of the black family. And so now you had a situation where you needed two parents to work to sustain a, a, um, a
a
healthy
family.
household, basically, right?
Right,
And then you had
right.
a situation, another shift systematically, of course, we both already know this, where women were kind of left alone because the pipeline to prison. I mean, it's a myriad of reasons, truth be told, right? But you had a group of women who were like, okay, so now what are we supposed to do? Now we can work, we can go to school, we can become educated. And once you open Pandora's box, Pandora's coming out. And I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. I think it's just the dynamics have shifted. Like you said, you have now women who are more educated, they are more learned, they're more experienced in the workplace. But I don't necessarily
Yeah,
think that's a bad thing. I just think that when it comes down to trying to I guess look at it and say, let me compare it to you. And I don't think women by and large are doing that. Like you just said, we want to be loved. Some of us desperately want to be loved.
no, no. Well, no, what I say, women need to be loved. They need to be loved, and they want to be needed. Men need to be needed, and they want to be loved. There's a difference, but
Mm,
and again, that may have fit back when, because
right.
again, like I said, it's changing. It's changing the whole time. But to your point, and what we're talking about are women of color largely had to do what they had to do to survive.
That is right.
They had to do that to survive. Now, if you weren't being put in jail, if black men weren't being put in jail by with crazy huge numbers like they were in that time frame, well, what was happening back in the day in slavery? They were being hung.
Yes.
The black men. So it's always been about uh, a way to destroy the black family nucleus.
Yeah. Well, that's
And
because you recognize how strong we are together when we work together, right?
right? So we cannot have that. And so the thing is, destroy that, disrupt that, and that's what they've done. And here's where we are as a result of it.
Yeah.
Here's where we are, and there was no choice. Either wither and die, or you be strong, stand up, and go do what you need to do.
Yeah.
Um, Black women, they open more businesses today than any other
Than any other demographic,
cross section
period.
at all. They're resourceful. We as a people are resourceful, and because of that, there are different ways that we get penalized for that. Now, when all that happens, where does that leave the man? Where does that leave the young man? And what does he see? You know,
But I think that's why it comes down to the types of lyrics that they sing, and I think the instant gratification of anything making me feel good right now. Whereas I
right.
think when men were more secure, I think you could sing from a place or write from a place of, I got time. I got
Hmm.
time. I'm sorry. I'm gonna
Hmm.
wine you. I'm gonna dine you. It's good.
Yeah.
I got some time for this. But I think now, especially even with social, and I'd be interested to hear your thoughts on this. Even with social media, making everything about instant gratification. I was talking to a really good friend of mine who is also in the music business, not like me. She sings like you.
Hmm.
But we'll talk about that later because I'm still gonna get in that group. Anyway, she was talking about her disappointment and her frustration with as a as an entertainer, um she's okay with being open, but because now social media is really about put all your business out there, put it all out there, and then we'll like you, and then we'll like your music. To your point earlier about people being more concerned with your hair than they were about your just raw talent, how do you deal with that as an artist today, having been so successful in the past, still experiencing success, but now you add this other component of, okay, now we want to know your business, we want to know everything. Go on Instagram and let us see what it looks like when you wake up, or tell us when you and Ruth argue, or what happened. Like, it's so invasive.
Yeah.
How do you deal with that?
I mean, easily for me, first off, I'm a grown ass man.
He said,
Okay.
he whispered it. Why are you whispering? Come on, your mama ain't
I'm
in the
just
house.
saying, I'm a grown ass man, and so I got my own opinions about things. People, they say there was a saying, people in hell want ice water,
Ain't that
right?
the truth?
They do. I would imagine that they would. But just cause you want it don't mean you're gonna get it. You did something to get there, but so
Yeah,
for number one.
it's
So
true. It's true. But it's
but
unfortunate.
yeah, I'm not here to expose my everything at
Yeah.
all. You can like me for what I bring to the table in this industry, in my artistry, if you will, or don't.
Or don't.
I'm good with that. Or don't. It has nothing to do. My personal life, what I choose to share is what I choose to share.
Yeah.
I'm not obligated. I don't feel obligated, nor should I think anybody feel obligated to reveal everything so that you can like me.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
It's unfortunate. I think
Either
it's
you,
creating a terrible emotionless society in the younger
yeah,
people, because we first of all, when I grew up, my mama said, stay out of grown folks' business. Stay out of grown,
right.
mind your business, right? And now I feel like everyone feels like everything is their business. So it's like if you want to be successful, you have to be on social media. And if you want to be super successful, then you have to air all your dirty laundry on social media. And I'm like, what are we doing? Like,
Yeah, yeah,
why are
you
we
know,
doing
and
this?
well, like they say, they'll take you up. If they take you up there, you don't stay up there.
It's going to be a
You,
long drop.
yeah, it's gonna be a fall, you know, and so if you're prepared to risk it all for what might be that kind of gratification that gets you off and you feel like you've accomplished it, be prepared on the other side to deal with the negative impact that can come along with it as well. I mean, if
Yeah.
you really, and the sad part of that is I think that most people really don't understand that that is operating within the realm of possibilities. It's not
Yeah.
just possible; it's a likelihood that that's what's going to happen. You
Oh,
know,
without
so
question. Without question. And these
yeah.
fake worlds, I like to live in reality. Now, I know you have a lot of social media followers, but do you have a lot of friends? Like, I always feel like when you're a celebrity, it's really hard. And I'm not a celebrity, but you are. But I feel like
Hmm.
it's hard to have like true friends. Like, do you have a good group of friends that you hang out with? And are they friends from your childhood or people that you met as an adult? And what does that look like when you guys hang out on a Saturday? Or were you working on the weekends, first of all? But
Yeah, you know,
when you
okay,
free?
right, exactly. So if and when those times come,
Yeah.
really, we have to really plan it out in order for me to hang with my boys, with my people, right, with my guys. Um, but you know, my life consists of Ruth Elaine Ross Edmonds and Carmela Rose Edmonds, and Remy Edmonds, and my career.
Yeah.
That's pretty much that consumes. When I tell you, it consumes me. The schedule that I got between for my daughter and my wife, it's
Yeah.
crazy.
I believe
So
it.
I don't have a lot of spare time. But what I do know is I stay grounded because I do have real friends that I've had since I was like 6 or 7 years old. I've got about seven friends that are my age that have grown up with me long before any of this stuff ever happened that are
Wow.
still my boys. And so
Yeah.
in the department of do you need I'm good on the friend
You're like,
department.
I'm
I'm
full.
good. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. You know, there's folks I'm cool with and everything like that. And those I can hang with, those I can talk to if I need to really air out some things or whatever like that. I've got that. So I'm blessed. I really feel blessed in so many ways because of those friendships have carried me through my journey. You know, I got boys back in Indianapolis where I'm from, and folks who spread out to California, to Florida, to Georgia, to Texas.
All
I'm
over.
good. DC. Oh, yeah, but I'm really good. You
You
know,
know,
and
I'm gonna tell you something really funny. This is because I know, obviously, grown with a lot of brothers. I'm sure you guys, like you said, are pranksters, right? I will never
hmm.
forget. I was on the elevator. This is like when I was probably
Oh, I know what you're going to tell me.
that story I told you about at the table.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm sure he could not remember this for nothing. But I was new in the
Oh,
business. I'd only been in in radio maybe
mm,
3 years, 2 years, 3 years. Man, and Babyface got on the elevator with me. And instead of fanning out, like, let me get the
uh,
autograph, let me get a picture, none of that. I was
mm.
Babyface, like in the back. I don't even know where it came from. I was going to my deepest register, saying his name over
Right.
and over again. And he just turned around like he just wanted to. I know he probably was like, if you don't shut up. And I said it
Oh my
the
goodness.
entire ride on the elevator. And we had to
Oh,
be, I don't know, going up to like, I don't know, the 14th floor or something. And I just
right,
kept
right.
saying it over again. Babyface.
That's crazy. Oh, you silly.
I
You
think
silly
that's
girl.
hilarious. I know I'm silly. I think
Oh,
that's why
oh.
I love you so much because I think that every time when we've been at events together or if I've seen you, you
Hmm.
play right along with my silliness. And I
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it because I think it's for me. I know it may come off as superficial, but I really
Hmm.
believe for me the secret of feeling young and staying youthful and vibrant is just laughing and just
Yeah.
enjoying the ride, because the ride is going to happen, right?
Right.
There's
Right.
nothing you can do. I mean, well, there's something you can do to stop it, but in terms of just life coming at you fast, it does. So for
Right.
me, laughing and just having a good time, that does it for me. What does it for you? What's the one thing that you live by that is a must for you in your life?
It is, to your point though, laughter it really, really is good for your soul. It's healing. And that's, I have to say, that's one of the things I think that really is that thread in our relationship is, we talk, Ruth and I, we talk all the time. We can talk about anything, but we laugh.
Oh,
We laugh. Yeah, and that's a good thing. I mean, she we wouldn't have found each other. Now, Mr. Mark Harris was the one who introduced
I was
us.
about to
Our dear
ask
friend.
you. I thought it was Mark that introduced you guys, if I remember
He was
correctly.
right. Yeah, it is Mark Harris. Yes, and he has he has a silly bone too. So we all, one, two, three, four. We all have it, and we all laugh. Just like I know he and Renita, his wife, they laugh. It's
That's the
important.
key. I think that
It
is the
really,
key,
really
and I
is.
think that's missing. That's so funny, and already know the story. The way Mark and I met, I told him I wanted to be a singer songwriter.
Hey,
I
shoot
couldn't
your
sing
shot.
worth shit. I was like, whatever. I came
Yeah.
over there with a book full of poetry. He said, "What you gonna do with all these poems?" I said, "We gonna sing them." I have
Right,
always
right,
been that way. I've always been my own force of nature. Like my yes will always be stronger than your no. I've always been like, I'm a go getter. What would your
right.
brothers say about you, the kind of person, or what would Ruth say about you in terms of the kind of person that you are?
Um, Loyal. I'm probably loyal to a fault, but it can be a good thing and a negative thing.
I was gonna say,
But
can
I
it
am
be
that.
to a fault? Can it be to a fault?
Well, yeah, it can be sometimes, um, because uh, you can sometimes give people more chances than they deserve. How
Mm,
about that? And
I can.
sometimes you have to put it in the box and put it away. Sometimes, unfortunately. But
Yeah.
for those people who know that I'm down, you know that I'm down. You can count on me.
Yeah.
That's what you know. No matter where, when, or what. Yeah.
And that's why you my nigga. I just adore you.
Ah,
I'm telling you, I I really am so excited to be on this journey to applaud the men, you know, in my life adjacent, because I really want people such as you to know that whether we ever talk like, I love your wife, I love your daughter, like I love to see you guys together. I love watching her win and her practice, and I love, just seeing you. I saw you was trending. I was like, what is Kevon done? What is he trending
right.
about? He's in one of the nights. Like, what happened? I just
Right.
think that, I don't know. I think you're a really, really amazing person. And I really want you to know that I cherish our friendship, even though, as odd as it is, right? Because we really don't talk a
Hmm.
lot. But when we do, it's like we catch up where we left off,
Right.
and we enjoy each other's company. And I love hearing about your
Absolutely.
family and what you're doing new. And I, I'm I'm proud of you, and I want nothing but the best for you. I would believe, and I want you to know this, though I've never needed it. If I ever, when I get into a good relate or just a relationship period, and I need sage advice, you'd probably be at the top of
Hmm.
the list of one of the people that I would call. I've never
Oh,
said that
wow.
out loud, but I've always thought in my head, if I ever needed sage advice about a dude, I'm
Mm.
gonna call. Come on,
Yeah.
I know he would know, and he would tell me the truth. He'd be like, "That
I'm
nigga
a,
ain't shit. You
well,
don't
yeah,
want
yeah,
him."
yeah, 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 yeah. You gonna get the truth. You gonna
I
get the
know you'd be
truth.
like, "Ready or
And
not, here it comes."
yeah, yeah. Here it comes, but it's gonna come with love. It's gonna
I
come with
know
love, and
it
I
will.
appreciate that. I
Well,
appreciate
listen,
that
I
though.
thank you so much for taking the time out to talk to me. I know you're super busy with the. Where are you now? I know I saw you guys on Instagram. You were performing. I can't remember where.
We were either in Cincinnati, Pensacola, most recently.
Oh my gosh.
Uh,
Where are
yeah,
you guys
so
at
we
next?
next we'll be in Oakland, Yoshi's. I got to do a family thing with the wifey and the daughter here in the next few days. I'm celebrating my wife's birthday tomorrow, so we got a whole big things
Big
going on
thing.
right
You
now. So
listen.
yeah,
You better. You have
I'm
to.
on it. I'm
You
on it.
said you're
I'm
gonna give
on
a
it. You got
what? I'll give you the sun. You better get started.
yeah.
The moon, the mountains. I'll give
So
you the world.
well, we'll take it to the mountains. We already got the sun and the moon and the
There
rain.
you go.
I got all that.
You got all that covered. Kevon, thank you so much. Please wish her happy birthday. Please hug my darling Carmela Rose. Please let her know that I
I
love
will.
her and
I
miss her.
will.
And I can't wait to see
Yeah.
you guys again.
Likewise. Love you too, lady.
All right. I'll talk to you soon.
All right.
Bye bye.
Be beautiful. You just beautiful. Look at you. Just look at you.
Well,
That's
tell
right.
somebody. Tell somebody.